Hello, I'm Toycat and welcome back to my second channel geography news video. So today I have some very positive news because a country is no longer going to be made into an island by its neighbor. And I know that seems very bizarre, it seems like some weird fictional history, but allow me to talk about the Gulf crisis because Qatar is a peninsula which by itself exists on the peninsula of a peninsula because this is the Arabian Peninsula, but Qatar is a country which borders just one other country, Saudi Arabia. And Saudi Arabia, as you might know, they're the country you don't really want to be upsetting in the area, and maybe Qatar did exactly that, so a lot of their neighbors did decide to blockade them, and Saudi Arabia went a step further, saying they may dig a canal to turn Qatar into an island. They actually put out the tenders for this, and they intended to, this seems like a weird joke, but they intended to reserve some of it for a nuclear waste facility, meaning that they would effectively be turning Qatar into an island and make the, part of the island that belonged to them into a very unpleasant place with a military base and a nuclear waste dump. It seems like a weird joke, and maybe you just can't trust, absolute monarchies. I totally agree that might be true, but in either case, the blockade is fortunately over. The Gulf states' blockade on Qatar is officially over. The Gulf Cooperation Council, of which Qatar was a member, have decided to no longer blockade Qatar, and here's the craziest bit. Not only have they ended the blockade, after some negotiations and, after a year of still even COVID plus the blockade not getting Qatar, not getting the country down, you can see how not only did they decide to end the blockade on them, but it's actually really, it's a solid win for Qatar, because as you can see right here, Qatar has not had to honor any of the 13 demands they made in 2017 when they said they would, when they started the blockade, and indeed all they had to do was drop lawsuits looking for compensation as a result of the isolation. And interestingly enough, I looked into this because I was like, oh, I wonder, here's the map of Gulf Cooperation countries, and as you can see, all of their neighbors are in as a part of this. The UAE, Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, Kuwait, Oman, and all of their neighbors are part of it. And I thought oh, this must be an old map from before 2017. Here's the craziest bit of the news that I didn't realize. When their neighbors blocked Qatar, when they stopped any freight going in, when they stopped all passenger flights, even though they're this close together, you haven't been able to physically travel through any of these countries and Qatar. Even though they did precisely that and they made their airspace off limits, a lot of big problems were made with Qatar in this particular way. They never actually kicked them out of the council. So for the last 3 years, this has been an accurate map. It's just most of the members were blockading one of the members, which seems like not a very good cooperation council. But the basic geopolitics read into this is the reason they decided to do so was because they realized that we need to put out a united front. We need to seem like, again, being anti-Iran was more important to Saudi Arabia than being being anti-Qatar. Being pro-Qatar, even though it's not their favorite thing, they'd rather have a united front of it's the Middle East versus Iran. Iran's the bad guys in the Middle East versus the more multilateral solution where Israel is bad and so is Qatar, and Iran are just badder than those, but they're still awful. Also, Syria, you hear about that? No, you haven't heard about that because you're talking about Iran. So obviously the Middle East, there's a lot of different powers moving around here, and it's all part of a ploy, I assume, to point the guns in one direction, which maybe you should keep your eyes on in the future. But today, we're not here to talk about that geopolitical ramification because the Middle East, you talk about it for too long, you're just going to get crazies. So instead, if you're a crazy and you want to leave a comment about something, look at my shirt. It's invisible. What's that all about? Wow. I mean, that sure is lazy. Who can't trust my geopolitical opinions because I didn't even wear a shirt that wouldn't get green screened out. Anyway, so with that said, let's talk, because, the thing that's interesting about this to me is the fact that it was even an option, just oh yeah, we're going to make our neighbor an island because we're mad with them. And the fact that, that was an option for them, some people think it's a joke, because admittedly they said may, and again, it's an absolute monarchy. But here's the thing, making the land how we want it is something humans are very good at doing, not just in terms of we make cities. I mean, even if you look at Saudi Arabia, you picture it as a giant desert, but let me show you some Saudi Arabia and you're oh yeah, oil money. Actually, this isn't a particularly glamorous part of it. Yeah, oil money, lots of money as it turns out, and when we want to develop things, we develop things. But also, if you look at the model for continents, the division between continents, and admittedly, which way you divide continents is up to you, but the division between continents has been man-made in at least one case. The division between Asia and Africa, here's Asia, here's Africa, is generally considered to be the Suez Canal, a man-made canal. We divided Africa and Asia. If it weren't for this, we just have to arbitrarily say at that thin point. But the Suez Canal was dug by a bunch of people. It was at one point owned by the British. Now it's a part of Egypt's territory. But the Suez Canal, man-made. We made the division between Africa and Asia. And, you know, if you look at, like, Europe and Asia, like, there's no division there. But, like, if there was, you better believe we'd make one. We made the division between Africa and Asia. We made the division under some, depending on... obviously, it depends on who exactly you're speaking to. But the Panama Canal, as you can see right here, divides North and South America by some definitions. Again, I want to re-clarify right here. Yeah, there are some different definitions of where each of the continents ends. So, like, you know what? Is South America at the edge of Panama? You know, is this the end of South America? Or is this the start and end of South America? Or is this... Some people disagree on that. Sure, that's fine. There are lots of maps out there, like here's one that shows it ending in Panama. Interestingly enough, not only are there disagreements about where Africa and Asia end, about where South America and North America end, but also where Oceania, or Australasia or whatever, and Asia begin and end. And in this one, as you can see, it's Papua New Guinea and it's Indonesia being the dividing line. In this one, as you can see, the whole thing is part of Australia. So they just call it Australia here. You know, it's very weird. Also, here, you know, like, there's also the darn Latin Americans who think that there is just 5 continents plus Antarctica. Like, you know, there is America. I am American. I am American. I am, you know, like the... And that's why when you say, like, oh, the Americans are doing this, they're like, I'm American. I live on the continent of America. There's only one in my language, and therefore there's only one in yours. So, like, you know, that's interesting too. But in today's video, I wanted to talk about country... You know, this is the... How long have I taken to get to there? 6.5 minutes. I wanted to talk about countries that could be made into islands. Because here's the thing, right? If Saudi Arabia could just cut Qatar into an island, who else could that, you know, who else could do this? And the obvious answer, actually, maybe it's just to me, there's 2 ones that immediately pop to mind. Like, let me know if you can get all of these, because I decided to go for every country that could unilaterally turn another country into an island. And here's the list that I've come up with. So the first one that comes to mind, because obviously I live here, is the United Kingdom could turn Ireland into an island. And you might think, Ireland's already an island. No, Ireland is 5/6 of an island, roughly, give or take. And as a result, if the UK really wanted a hard border between Northern Ireland and Ireland, they could just dig one. As you can see, some of it is already in the sea, so it's not that hard of a work. This would only take about 360 kilometers or so of digging, 220 freedom donkey yonks or whatever they call it in America. You know, the I can't make fun of the imperial system because, like, technically speaking, even in Northern Ireland they use imperial. So if we go to the border, you can see right here that, fun fact, on our side the speed limit will be actually, I guess it says 50 kilometers on their side, on our side, and then on their side it'll say in miles per hour. No, it doesn't. You're not. When you drive into Northern Ireland, just work out the speed limit for yourself. But yeah, fun fact, they do in fact use miles per hour in Northern Ireland because it's a part of the United Kingdom. You know, some could question how long for, but that's not the topic of this video, huh? So let's keep on looking around here. You know, I'm proving my point, and we're going on a tour of Northern Ireland until I do. Where is my cowshed gallery? You know, I give up. But what I don't give up on is saying that the other obvious example, right, the country that could be divided, you know, by its neighbor into an island, is North Korea could unilaterally turn South Korea into an island. Obviously, China... you know, like, the peninsula is already mostly an island, so, like, China could turn both South Korea and North Korea into 2 halves of one island. But in terms of, by the way, it's always so ugly when you zoom into South Korea because of their map data laws, which I dislike. But as you can see, South Korea could be made into an island by North Korea at any point in time, or South Korea could turn themselves into an island if they're just like, you know what, I dislike all these people coming over here. Rather than a DMZ, let's just have a nice little no touching line. So there's another idea for you. Wow, bet you like that one, don't you? Speaking of ideas, I bet you like another country that, again, immediately pops to mind. Whenever 2 countries share an island, they could, like, become 2 islands. So Haiti and the Dominican, there's a big problem with Haitians because the GDP figures for each side of the island are massively different. So, like, you know, people from Haiti like to go to the Dominican Republic. How do they like to go there? Maybe they cross one of the many borders, and there's a lot of issues of, like, basically, country has some issues, maybe they could cut themselves loose. Or maybe Haiti goes, you know what, we're losing our brightest brains to the other side of the island, maybe we'll cut ourselves loose and stop that way. Who knows for sure? Maybe Haiti could just be like, you know what, we're French, we deserve to be our own island. You know, there's lots of different ideas they have. that they could have, I should say, and they could turn themselves into an island that way. You know, like, obviously, we have to mention the worst example that's technically true. The United States, if they get mad with Canada, they're like, you know what, we're not even going to invade, but we are going to teach you a lesson. They could dig the longest, so like, in terms of the longest distance that a country would have to go to cut another country unilaterally into an island, the United States could cut all of their border. Again, I want to remind you just how much of it there is as you look around here, like on this side too. Like there is so much border between the United States and Canada, but they could, if they wanted to, turn Canada into an island. I guess it's already lots of islands, but they turn it into a series of islands as opposed to part of a continent. That would be pretty cool, huh? I think it would be. It's also worth mentioning, while we're here, you know, actually, I didn't realize how big of a list this was. Papua New Guinea could be turned into an island. Did you know Timor-Leste could be turned into an island and then another part of an island? They can be turned into 2 islands, I guess. Does that count? I'm going to count it. Not Bhutan. Brunei could be turned into 2 islands. Actually, you know, because they've got a bridge linking them, I'd argue you could turn Brunei into just 1 island now. What do you reckon? Also, because of the Gambia's weird shape, they could be the coolest shaped island in the world. If Senegal ever gets upset with them, they're like, you know what? We've had it with you, you colon-shaped country, you wiggly snake with a little bit of a knife on the end of you. Yeah, it's a snake holding a knife. That's what the Gambia is. You know, we've had enough of you, the Gambia. We're cutting you into your own very bizarre island. And finally, if I'm not mistaken, you know, you could go over this forever, I'm sure. I believe the last example is Spain could cut Portugal into an island. You know what? We're sending you back to Eastern Europe, Spain, where you clearly belong. And they could choose to do that if they so wanted to. And if I'm not mistaken, that is every country. Oh, actually, one more. Monaco it's actually the shortest border in the world, internationally. This is Monaco. I always even lose it. Monaco could be the easiest country to be turned into an island if you ignore the geographic constraints of, like, it's mountainous, so you'd have to blow a lot of mountains up. But the shortest border in the world between one nation state and another nation state, which could be made into an island, is Monaco and France. If you have another example and you think I missed one, let me know. Like, maybe Sweden and Norway. Nah, Sweden and Norway couldn't be done. You'd need Finland's cooperation, or you'd need to take some of Norway's territory. Norway could turn themselves into an island, but that's a separate point for another day. Anyway, was this video worthwhile? You better believe it was. Was this... I guess actually any country can turn itself into an island, right? Is that factually true? Yeah, Germany could turn itself into an island, even though it borders a bunch of countries. If a country, because if you go by the definition where, like, you dig a little bit inside of your own territory, you are legally allowed to turn your country into an island, no matter which country it is. And, but only a few countries, only the dozen or so examples I listed, can turn other countries into islands. And I think that's beautiful. But in reality, oh wait, no, Lesotho, South Africa could make the coolest island. They could build a moat, they could build like a moat around Lesotho, fill the moat with snakes, and then, because Lesotho relies a lot on South Africa. Also, have you ever seen how close the capital of Lesotho is to South Africa? They've already started building the moat. But anyway, so I know this is most borders tend to follow rivers and mountains and stuff, so it makes sense that there's a river there. Don't worry, I know. There's always someone who's like, you know what, Toy Cat, I know that you're saying things facetiously, but I'm going to explain it anyway because I'm sure you didn't get the joke. But speaking of jokes that I don't get, you and watching this video, why are you doing this to yourself? This was a dumb premise, and I executed it very badly. I'm not even wearing a shirt that you can see. Look how bad you do this to yourself, and I'm disappointed in you because this was a fun second channel video for me, but probably not for you. So second channel. Let me know actually if there's a single country I've missed. I think I got all of them. Is this even a list that anyone has ever wanted to put together? You tell me. But what I'll also tell you is thank you for watching. Oh, I guess Cyprus, legally speaking, is the whole island. But they are, if you go with like actual definitions, either country could cut. Cyprus could cut itself in half to make itself an island from Northern Cyprus. But I don't recognize Northern Cyprus on this channel. And you know what else I don't recognize? Your watching of this video. Oh, also, yeah, I want to quickly heads up. Oh wait, damn it. I said the name again. And you, like, I didn't realize, like, I thought you could swear on YouTube without any real repercussions. Apparently, maybe I went overboard. But my video about my favorite town in Austria, which I thought I could do, not only could it get So no monetization, so I didn't make any money. Sure, whatever, fine. I've appealed it a couple times and they don't like that. But also, not only did they take away the monetization, so I made no money from it, as you can see right here. Yeah, we made no money from this video, but also they restricted it 18 plus only, so you need an 18 plus account to even find this video, and because that affects the click-through rate and stuff, it means if you look at the analytics, it's like, the video was doing really well, right up until it got suppressed, till it got cut down by YouTube, and that's sad, but I figured I'd give my own video a shout out here, because, you know, I enjoyed making that a lot. You know, I'm having a lot of fun with the second channel this year, and I hope you are too, because as always, I hope you all enjoyed. Second channel, don't care. But I do care actually about Qatar being not cut off from their neighbors, because I like their airline in Qatar, and therefore I like Qatar now. I've decided. Don't like the Saudi airline. Don't like them at all. You can't even drink alcohol on the Saudi Arabian Airlines because they follow the laws of the country. Qatar, illegal to drink in the country, but it's okay if you're in a hotel or a flight. Don't know why that's the rules. Don't know how alcohol is like taboo unless you're in a hotel room, in which case, I guess actually it's mostly fine. But that's the sort of lawmaking I can get on board with. Anyway, with that said, hope you all enjoyed this video, because I won't see you in another one, because I'm going to die in a house fire probably.